Luther on free will, a divine paradox. What is free will? A concept that has puzzled philosophers, theologians, and thinkers for centuries. Can we truly choose, or are we mere instruments of a greater plan? Today, we journey into the mind of Martin Luther, a man whose radical views on free will shook the foundations of medieval theology. Martin Luther, the pivotal figure of the Reformation, didn't shy away from controversial topics. Among these, his perspective on free will stands out as both profound and unsettling. To Luther, free will wasn't the triumphant banner of human autonomy. It was a humbling acknowledgement of our dependence on God's sovereignty. Luther's definitive work on this subject, De Servo Arbitrio, The Bondage of the Will, was a direct rebuttal to the Renaissance humanist Erasmus, who argued that humans possess a certain degree of free will in matters of salvation. Luther, however, argued otherwise. His assertion, human will is bound, not free, when it comes to choosing God or salvation. Man should realize that in regard to his money and possessions, he has a right to use them, to do or to leave undone, according to his own free will. Yet that very free will is overruled by the free will of God alone, according to his own pleasure. For Luther, free will exists, but only within a narrow scope. In worldly matters, like how we use our possessions or make daily choices, we exercise a degree of freedom. But in matters of salvation and ultimate purpose, Luther insists that our wills are enslaved to sin, incapable of choosing God without divine intervention. This bold claim stems from Luther's understanding of human nature. He believed that since the fall of Adam, humanity's will has been corrupted, unable to align itself with God's will. Our choices in spiritual matters, he argued, are entirely governed by God's grace, or lack thereof. To Luther, free will in spiritual matters is an illusion. Our will is like a ship on the sea, driven either by the winds of God's mercy or the storms of sin. But this isn't to say Luther advocated despair. Instead, he pointed to God's ultimate sovereignty as a source of hope. If salvation depends not on our flawed choices, but on God's perfect will, then we can rest in His grace rather than in our own efforts. This view challenges modern ideas of autonomy and freedom, yet it also offers a profound perspective. What if true freedom is not about choosing our path, but about trusting the one who directs it? To Luther, submission to God's will wasn't bondage, it was liberation. Martin Luther's teaching on free will reminds us of a humbling truth. We are not the masters of our fate, nor the captains of our souls. But perhaps, in recognizing this, we discover something greater, a freedom not found in control, but in surrender. What are your thoughts on Luther's perspective? Is free will an illusion, or is it intertwined with divine sovereignty? Let's discuss in the comments below. Join us next time as we dive deeper into the legends that shaped our world. Until then, stay curious.